Come back to Own Your Own Mind, Body, and Spirit, where we are drawing on Judy Marie Trimber's 40 years of experience exploring and teaching the mind, body, spirit connection, tapping into Judy's synthesis of diverse wisdom, traditions, and practical techniques into a cohesive and transformative learning experience. So get ready for more insights into the interplay between mental, physical, and spiritual well-being and self-discovery and healing. And our topic today is all about brain fog, understanding and overcoming mental fatigue. And I know Judy's got some exciting information and an exercise that's going to be very cool. So, Miss Judy, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Hello, everybody. I'm excited to share and see all of you as well.
Yeah.
This is not going to be your typical brain fog class, okay? I'm taking each and every one of you to a whole new level of awareness, okay, through this today. You're going to be so glad before this is over, you're going to have an experience. I'm going to call this the deal of the day. This could be the deal of the rest of your life. An exercise I'm going to take you through, very simple, but you're going to be able to use this every day to help clear up some of the brain fog. And it may work very immediately for you. So before I go into sharing more information with the brain fog, I really, um, kind of see for yourself, is my thinking as sharp as it can be? Am I experiencing, some fogginess, heaviness whatsoever? Um, as I go through some of the brain fog symptoms you might be having, this is what I want you to do. I want you to be aware of any tension in your neck, in your shoulders, in your gut, in your jaws, any tension that you would be feeling anywhere in your body. Okay. And I want you to also recognize as I go through this, do you have, are your eyes looking down? Are they looking up? Are they looking straight out? I'm going to go through some of these symptoms of what you might be feeling or what might feel like it's blocking or what's adding to it. No matter what, we still have to treat the physical. If you came to me and you said, Judy, I'm really having, a lot of brain fog moments, or I just cannot get out of this whatsoever. It's really important that I watch what your body's doing. It's really important, that I kind of see how these expressions are looking. But then we have to, number one, no matter what our health situation is, mind, body, spirit, we got to look at what is the body needing? Are there things that are happening that we have to help with? So I want to address the physical, and then I want to address the mental, the emotional. This is all leading up to an exercise we're going to do before we have a Q&A, which we'll leave, a little bit for the last segment of this. So let's talk about some of the influences that affect brain fog. And that's just a term. In nature there is fog, right? There we'll have foggy moments, in the weather. For those who may not know or do know, that there's a lot of fog that's been hitting the world that is full of chemicals, okay? That you might smell the burnt air. You might smell, what is literally in the fog. You might be getting, I know people have had reactions to it in their skin, in their lungs, whatsoever, so that is a true environmental issue that affects us. We have to look at what are the variables coming in our environment. We are so inundated with a lot of chemicals. As I'm sharing this, keep in mind that the most powerful grid going is our human grid in our brain, okay? Our being is the most powerful grid there is. So I'm not going to give some of these conditions a lot of power. I just am bringing awareness, okay? Um, so I just got to spend 5 days with Dr. David Martin. It was a very intimate gathering in Boulder, Colorado, and I mean, this has so been on, you know, my intention and was to work with him, be around him, how what he does with the brain, the 12 senses, and working with energy was the most intense exercises and labs I've ever done in my life. But I want to tell you, I get to share some of this stuff with you that you don't have to take years and years to learn. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to clear up brain fog today, okay? No matter what. And you have chemicals maybe through your food, you know, what you're eating, what you're doing, what you're drinking. It could be your medications. We are so inundated with chemicals from birth, from pre-birth. Okay, so you can't get out of this 100% no matter what, but we can make changes in our electrical, human, powerful grid that can help offset some of this. You might be getting some brain fog because you're constipated, or maybe you have diarrhea. You know, what's going on in the gut? You might not have enough serotonin. You might not have enough melatonin. You know, maybe you was exposed to a condition, some type of virus, or maybe you have had certain injections. You might have something that's continuing to add to this brain fog that a lot of people are having a hard time coming out of. Therefore, the vagus nerve has greatly been affected. When the vagus nerve has been affected, which is the longest nerve, head to the rectum, the longest nerve in the body, but yet the most powerful nerve. If you had that vagus nerve cut, you would die. We need to know this vagus nerve is operating and working so efficiently. And the exercise I'm going to take you through will go ahead and start to clear that and start to activate that. And again, that will be a little closer towards the end of the class. Pay attention as I'm saying these different symptoms you might be experiencing. What is your body feeling? What do you feel any tension? Do you feel anything in your gut of saying, oh, yeah, you know, that may be true? Or maybe, I don't know, you know, your body will not lie to you. Your body is made of divine intelligence. It wants that level of well-being. But we have been so inundated and exposed to so many myths and lies. And people, what I call right now, we're going through what's called gender wounding / healing. This is huge on the planet. What's a male? What's a female? What's the rules? Who am I really as a woman? Who am I really as a male? You know, this is all coming up with people. And what's it doing to the brain? You know, we're getting gummed up. We're getting like, I don't know. I thought it was this. And I thought because of women's rights, I have this. No, 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 no. No, this goes way back. Do you really think Eve talked to a snake? Okay, and was making a decision, you know, oh my goodness. Go way, way back to this stuff. I'm talking about the things that have already affected our brain. We have been in a fog for a long time, way before 2020. We're clearing up the fog in healing through a lot of levels of our woundedness. We're healing through that right now. That's why some of you may, I'm going to use the term, I really like this. And I'm jumping back and forth a little bit more to the mental and the emotional, but have you been living your life where you have, can you say, shrunk yourself? Where you're living less than who you really want to be, less than who you really are? Or maybe it's in some friendship with a person where it's hard to be honest and, be very clear and honest with your yeses, or meaning your no's. Or do you switch that? But I meant, or we go back and forth, or I'll say the things that won't hurt you, or I'll say the things just to, keep things pretty cool. All those habits and patterns are not working anymore. They just are not. Being able to authentically communicate our truth has a direct effect on every aspect, and I'm going to call it the 12 senses of our brain. And we say we have five senses, six senses. One day I'm going to talk to Tommy if I could come on and teach something totally different that's going to take your head spinning, but it's going to make sense to you because you'll feel it through some exercises. But so talking about the brain fog, and back a little bit to the physical, consuming seed oils. Yes, that has a direct effect on the brain and the gut. Sugar, processed foods. These are the things we know affect the brain. A lack of oxygen, a lack of proper breathing definitely affects the brain. A big piece, I'm going back to connect into your truth, connect into living a life you love. And why I'm sharing this, because I've been getting more and more to the core of some of my own personal health issues. Getting to the core. I was trying to be okay with some things I was not okay with. Okay. And this goes way back into an aspect of being a woman, a really false aspect of being a woman, and buying into some of the lies and some into being a host for other people parasitically, or to myself. To thy own self be true. So this is about self-respect, self-love. You think of this, doesn't this already start to feel better in your brain to be self-honored? It really helping to clear up the fog. I don't know how to stop the chemtrails, tell you the truth. Okay. I don't know how to stop some of these things that are happening, except I can do what I can to readjust my brain, do the things that could help me even on a physical level, but also reboot the health needs and the emotional and the mental needs of who I am and what's going on in my life. I'm going to ask you again. I want you to start feeling your body as I'm talking about these things. Are you feeling a sense of, yeah, I can relate to that? Or is that resonating in your life? Where is the tension in your life? Conscious or unconscious? Where's the tension? This has a direct effect to the brain. Any type of tension is a betrayal to your truth. Tap into your truth, but you got to know, where's the tension coming through? What are the thoughts and the feelings that you are having? And again, like I said, some of you just came on. I'm taking brain fog. I'm going to address this maybe a little bit in another angle here, because this has to do, again, the connection with your vagus nerve. And if we have to take responsibility, like I said initially, even in the physical. We got to watch for the microplastics that I forget the weight of it in a brain that they're measuring of what we're consuming in 1 year, just 1 year. When I recently was in Maui, some of you might have heard this, and we were out with the whales, and the whales are not as big as they used to be. Even their babies are not as big as they used to be. And this is an issue overall. It's because of the environment that's in the water, the plastics that are in the water, what's happening to the water that's affecting even the size of the whales. They're not getting enough food, okay? They're not getting enough nutrition. People, that's what's happening to us too in our environment. You know, we to become more conscious and make these changes that I'm talking about. And again, let's talk about some of the tweaking as you think about, okay, I'm not going to shrink myself in my life anymore. Let's pick one area. You're going to stand up and communicate that, it might take everything in you to do this. It took everything in me to do this about 3 weeks ago, a situation that I stood up to in my life. And I faced a fear that probably was in my lineage of women for generations. And this energy like blasted out of me. It just went like poof. It came out of me. And the person I was addressing this with did the same thing. We just broke it up karmically, or we just broke it up. But what happened was this fear of not stepping into the most powerful, respectful, loving way of honoring ourself. That's where we're at. This gender woundedness that has gone on for so long is here for its healing. And we fear less, we judge less, we start to have this unconditional love for ourselves. What does that mean? If you have unconditional love for somebody else, I see Paul on the call, and there's this unconditional love. Paul has been a part or accountability partner for a number of years, and worked together. And in the unconditional love, he doesn't have to change anything about himself. Him and I, we love and respect each other just as we are, no matter what we go through, no matter what we do. Now, we have to have this. And I'm saying this, please pay attention. This is the time to develop every aspect of that for yourself. For yourself. Unconditional love, no matter what. This has such a direct effect on the brain, on the serotonin, on the melatonin, on any chemicals you've been exposed to, no matter what. No matter what I have gone through, many people thought I was nuts for doing some of the stuff that I felt I needed to go through and do for me. And they just thought, you've kind of lost it. That's how I knew I was on the right track. When you have that level of opposition, but you start to grow that level of respect and that level of love and that level of honor for yourself. Do you hear this? Feel your body. Do you feel this? Do you feel this starting to affect your brain in a positive way? Do you feel the tension coming down a little bit? Your eyes, we got to talk about eyes. Okay, we got to talk about eyes a minute. When you talk with somebody, maybe you're going to talk to yourself in the mirror and you're going to check in for your day. You're going to see how you're feeling, how you're doing. Maybe you're going to give some kudos, compliments, positive affirmations. Look where your eyes go. Are they straight? Are they up? Are they down? When you talk to somebody else, even where are their eyes? Are they looking down? Do you know all the times we are looking at our phones, we're looking down, we're looking down. Anytime we're subconsciously or consciously, there could be a esteem issue, a self-worth issue. The eyes will always go down. They'll always go down. Let's say you're having a conversation with somebody and, speaking, you're authentically talking, they can't even look you in the eye. Okay. Or they're looking all over the place, or they're looking down, you know, watch where the eyes go, watch where your eyes go. The more you could look up, the more you could look out. Believe me, this helps the vagus nerve. Okay. These are things you probably have not been taught or thought about a whole lot. Pay attention when you do mirror work. Pay attention when you're looking at somebody, talking to somebody. I'm sharing stuff with you that actually absolutely activates the brain in a very, very positive way. And we'll do a little exercise around this too. Having the life, having the desire, whatever it is, to make whatever changes that you can really start to enjoy. I'm just going to say, love your life. There's no reason. I will not give myself one more day permission to live a life I don't enjoy. Okay. And a few years prior, I was struggling with a situation I was trying to be okay with, and I was not okay with. Do you know what this has done alone to my brain? That heaviness, that fogginess, that cloud over me. Have you ever had that? A cloud that's, even though you're moving forward in your life, but you have this cloud lingering over you. It's gone. It's gone. Whatever discomfort we have to go through to look authentically at our truth has such an effect on our brain. Our brain is so far beyond AI. It's so far. Wow, it's what we've been created with and capable of doing. So then when you have this sensation going on, don't you want to make the changes? Don't you want your bowels to start to move better? And I'm going to talk about some solutions here. I love this because when we have these blocks, and they're blocks, okay, it could be chemical block, emotional block, sugar, whatever. But when you have a deeper desire to raise the vibration of self-love, self-respect, your vagus nerve already starts to feel this empowerment. But the strongest emotion, the feeling, sensation it has, it's very calming. It's very calming. You still can be vivacious. You still could be I'm very animated, okay, and I have a lot of life that is just exploding out of me right now, because I oppressed and suppressed a part of me. This happened with not just women, men too, from a long time ago, but especially women being put in the level of, lesser than the male, lesser than whatever that is. These very ancient, old gender wounds are really coming up for their healing everywhere. I was just with a group of people from all over the world, and everyone is dealing with this. Everyone is feeling, oh my gosh, how do I get my head clear? How do I get this straight inside of me? And that's what we're going to be doing. That's what we're doing, raising the awareness. Then you want to make the changes, right? You want to say, you know what? I'm worth it. I want this for me. I'm willing to make those changes, whatever that takes. Taking care of your brain. This is very fascinating because people can have different illnesses in life. They can have limbs cut off. They could have a double mastectomy. They could go through all this stuff in life. But the one area they fear the most, there really are two, is going blind, but losing their mind. Losing their mind. And sometimes, like I felt like in the last month, I was losing my mind. And I needed to lose that mind. That was the mind that wasn't serving me. That was the mind that absolutely was those types of things going on in my coding that got decoded. So I have the clarity of the mind that I want. I want to make sure I'm going to share with you some of the solutions, but I want to make sure we have time for the practice, and I want to make time for questions and answers here, because this probably isn't fully what you came on for, but I don't want to minimize it. And Tommy, we're probably not going to do the slides if that's okay. Okay. I don't want to minimize a few basic things. Breathing, from the diaphragm, breathing. Even while I'm taking you through this exercise, and you're going to go through an exercise pretty soon, I want you to start getting the habit of breathing. The brain has to have that oxygen. That's not going away. Okay. That's one of the things to really have to bring this level of balance, to clear the fog. You have to clear the fog by hydrating well. That's a principle. That's not going to go away. Your bowels have to move. You want the brain to feel better, you got to have things circulating out of you. Have the toxins come out of you. You want to sleep better. This exercise I will take you through. You'll be able to do it before you go to bed. I'm going to work with Tommy that we could get a clearer picture of what we're going to be doing, but I'll work with Tommy with that, and then we'll get that to you, because this is going to be a game changer in your life every day. It's very simple and it's free. The goal is also that you'll become clear in making decisions. Do some of you have a hard time? It's like being on the clothesline. I don't know, am I dry? Am I not dry? Do I take it down? Do I leave it up? Blah, 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 what clarity in making these decisions and making these choices to where you don't feel so much of the brain fog. Feeling more motivated, like, oh my, getting up and get moving, or I can't wait to work on this thing next, on and on, versus that foggy feeling, that sluggish feeling, that definitely can come from toxicity on many levels. Well, we're going to clear things up a little bit so you can have a whole different feeling of that. I don't want to live a life where I start to say something, I'm like, oh, I don't know, I'm forgetting everything. I just have so much confusion going on in me. That this can happen when the energy gets gummed up, when the toxins or the chemicals or whatever it is, and we just want to move it through, have the clarity. When you have this, you have more empathy. There's more compassion. There's a gentleness for yourself and others. There's a kindness for yourself and others. So let's talk about a few solutions here. I want to first talk about minerals, okay? Liquid minerals. And, some of you might say, oh, she's just here promoting her own products. Yes, I am. But I'm doing it from a place, oh my goodness, of 1,000% conviction. Even a situation I was just in for 5 days, and there was so much energy work being done. What helped people immediately in one drink was the liquid minerals. Okay, that's electricity. That helps the electrolytes. The my minerals, I believe, it are the best. It comes from deep in the earth. They've been here for so many years. They're not altered. Nothing's added. Nothing's taken away. And it has fulvic and humeric in it. And I want to tell you, minerals are essential to life force energy. Okay, and if you can't take a bath, put it a cap full of this, put it in your water on it in the feet, soak your feet. The minerals are life generating. Okay. Another thing is that we're inundated with parasites. Sorry to tell everybody, most of what came through with a lot of things that happen to people, parasitic. What has been in them, oh my gosh, is parasites. What is so in the chemtrails, it's everywhere. We have to keep the parasites minimal in the body. So again, I'm going to promote Puricite. It's a must. It's a game changer. Even at this workshop I was in, the people who knew and they know about what I'm talking about that's affecting their brain, we got to make sure that we're not a host to these parasites that we're being so exposed to. And I talked about hydration and fresh air. You may use some peppermint oil. I do a few drops on the hand, cup it over your nose, get the oils to go into those follicles in your nose. If you're a person that's dealing with headaches, migraines, again, I'm going to show you a simple exercise. And then I am going to tell you about something we may have to have a separate call about, but I'm going to introduce it to you before this is over. That can help you. Okay. Now we're going to do this exercise. In doing this exercise, I want you again, where you're at right now, kind of take note. How's your brain feeling? How's your head feeling? Any tension in your neck? Any tension anywhere in your body? Is there anything in particular right now you're obsessing about? Is there anything in particular you're worried about? Just kind of take note of this right now before we do this exercise. Is there a situation that's kind of really agitating you right now, or you just kind of can't really shut off your mind to, kind of pay attention to this, where you're at right now. Okay. So if Tommy will,
Ready for the graphic?
yeah,
Okay.
it's a little fuzzy, but we're working on it. We're gonna work on getting it. There's a reason why Tommy found another one which was really clear, which was really nice. This one specifically was designed by Dr. David Martin, and it's stellar how it works. Okay. I don't know, some of you know him as the guy who would wear the bow tie, but this other side of him is incredible with healing and working with the brain and the body. Okay, so in a minute or so, Tommy will put on a specific music that is for the brain. That will go on in the background. We're going to do this for 5 minutes, and I'm going to explain to you what we're doing. So you'll pick either a color on the inside or a color on the outside, and you're going to go through this one certain way. Maybe you're going to first go clockwise and bring it back around. When you come back around, let's say you start with that purple, come back around, then jump to the blue, take that all the way around, jump to the green, Have your eyes go all the way around, then go back on the yellow. Do you see what I'm saying? Kind of take that figure eight all the way around. Then halfway through, and I'll watch it on my phone. Halfway through from when we start, I'm going to have you reverse it. Okay? And this isn't something, this isn't about Speedy Gonzalez right now. Just don't, take your time. And then when I say halfway point, then we're going to reverse it. And then the last 2.5 minutes, we're going to go the other way. Again, be aware of just your neck, your eye, just any sensations while you go through this. Do you have brain fog right now? Do you feel kind of heavy, cloudy, whatever, but then we're going to start this. All right. Does this make sense? Is this clear enough, Tommy?
Let's just clarify. So, like, you can, let's say, start at the purple and
Yeah.
follow your eyes all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get to there, then start to the blue and go this way, right?
Right.
And then just keep doing that through all the colors. And then at a
Yes.
certain point, you're going to say, go the other direction, which would mean like start here,
Perfect.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yes, that's it exactly.
Okay,
Okay.
awesome.
Okay, let's get the music and then we'll have our let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and reverse. Okay, Tommy.
Do you want me to take it down?
Yeah, you could take it down, and the music could be played maybe softly. We're going to do one more little thing.
Okay, cool.
Okay, while you hear the music in the background, which is again frequencies for the brain, what I want you to do, okay, just again be aware of your body, be aware of just where you're at. I want you to take your eyeballs to the right corner of the room where you're at, eyeballs to the left, eyeballs down to the right. Keep your face straight. Sorry. Keep your face straight and your eyes look down to the corner, to the other corner. I want you to look far to your left, far to your right, way up to the ceiling, down to the floor. Then I want you to do circles a few times and then go counterclockwise. And we're going to take just a minute or two, really exercise those eyeballs. Far to the right, far to the left, corners of the room, up, down, all the way around, other way around. Keep your head straight, go to the far right, go to the far left. Great. Valerie, you're doing great. Way up high, way down. It's really good. Linda, you're doing great too. And then do the big circles with your eyeballs, clockwise, counterclockwise. Breathe, breathe. Inhale, exhale slowly. Get them deep in the diaphragm. Get your breath going on this exercise. Very, very good. Okay. Okay.
Cool. Done with music?
Yeah, we could be done with music. Thank you. All right. So, everyone, can you feel that? What you might have been worried about a few minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, 6 minutes ago, does it matter? Like, isn't this, you feel the energy? Yes, Linda, you can feel this. Just, it calms you. Why? You just activated your vagus nerve all the way to the brain. I would love to hear right now anybody's feedback. Questions you have, or just feedback you have.
Feel free to raise your hands, friends,
Mm-hmm.
or type in the chat or wave. Linda, go ahead, dear.
I thought it was really amazing and very calming. And just working my eyes felt so wonderful. And just the deep breathing was amazing. I just feel
So,
so relaxed and calm. And I was like this when we started almost because of tension. It was
mhm.
great.
Thank you,
That's
Linda, for
awesome.
sharing that. And when we do this, more than a third of the nerves in our body have just relaxed. You can use this exercise, and I'll work with Tommy to get a better sheet for you so you could print your own. When you do it your own physically, here's where you want the sheet. You take your thumb to your nose and your hand, your little finger, where your little finger is, you want the sheet right there, okay? We're doing it on Zoom, it's a little harder, but you'll want a copy of that sheet. And again, I'll get a better one for you. And you put the sheet right there. You can do this before you go to bed. You can do this, let's say you get in a situation and it's like, things hit the fan, they just do. Okay. Life happens,
That's
and
interesting.
but you don't want to respond, react, get the emotions calmed down. This exercise is phenomenal. Do it before you go to bed at night. Okay? It's crazy what this will start to do to your dreams. It's awesome. But you're healing the vagus nerve that has the direct effect on the brain.
That's so cool.
Linda.
Linda Louise.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Judy, so good to see you.
Good to see
Uh,
you.
First of all, the music was so beautiful, and it just relaxed me to no end. And what I noticed that I carry a lot of tension in my neck and shoulders, have for years. And what I noticed in following the eyes with the colors, that I wanted to sit up straighter, which I did.
Mhm.
And no tension in my neck or the shoulders. And looking at the mask of colors, I felt that it was like the eyes of God looking at us with this beautiful rainbow of colors that immersed us in this exercise and just made me feel completely relaxed and also completely safe, because it was the eyes of God looking at us. I felt very safe and very comforting. And that music, Tommy, is just spot on, just beautiful. So those are some of the feelings I got from this.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you.
So good. I can't take credit for the music. Judy sent it to me.
Well, it's beautiful.
I'll share it in the chat if anyone wants it.
It's
Good.
really, really something. Everybody's going through these profound changes right now. We're trying to, navigate our way, our soul back to home of who we really are, back to home of what do we really want, what is our truth. And this exercise, I mean, will take you, maybe you feel that what Linda was saying is just really, really something. She was fully embodied in this exercise, and you feel a little bit of that sensation of, I do feel kind of cozy and at home right now within. And then what happens? You have more clarity. It's easier to feel, more creative. It's easier to make choices of, do I really want to spend my time and engage in that level of energy or whatever it is, it's and the other thing I want to share about this, if any of you want to look him up, Dr. David Martin, want to know any more about him or whatsoever, in the very beginning, it's very clear he does not use earbuds. He has done so much research on what that does to the brain. I don't know how we can avoid Bluetooth, but
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. Okay. But the earbuds, it was significant. So in this whole time for 5 days, no earbuds. No, I mean, it was very minimal, if any, on the screen. I'm pretty convinced at this time that it will be a rare situation that I do use them now. Think about this for our brain right now. We're not doing, or we're thinking, what does that little bit hurt? And then what does those hours hurt on it? Then what does, and he went into the science of what it does to the brain to have noise canceling devices. I'm fascinated with this because of the brain injury I had years ago. I'm fascinated with the effects that have like immediately cleared things up in the brain. We have a few minutes. I want to explain another exercise, even though we can't do it today. If there's another time at a live workshop, we might be able to do it. And that's, something I could communicate more with Tommy on. Okay, but I'm going to tell you what you can do. I recommend you have a family member or a friend help you with this, do it together. And I'm going to recommend you do it 7 days in a row. Okay, it's going to sound crazy. It could pretty much clear up every migraine you've ever had or not going to have anymore. It can clear up headaches. It activates, again, your whole immune system because what we're doing to the brain. Some of you've heard about you take a hot shower, then you take a freezing cold shower, right? Or people who dip into the water, ice cold water, plunges, but they rarely get their head in. The part you want cold is the brain. But I'm going to tell you a simple thing you could do at home that will work. So you get a bowl, one of those big bowls, maybe Tupperware bowls or industrial bowls, or borrow one from each other, cold water. Then I want you to put ice in it. This is powerful stuff. Let me tell you. I mean, someone who used to think I had a learning disability, is that wiring in me's gone. It's just so gone right now. And it came really after this experience. And after this experience, I had no doubt I will never, ever again have cancer. I have no doubt about it. Okay. So, in a bowl of water and ice, if the ice melts, put more ice in. You can put a headband on if you're a woman, get your hair out of the way, jewelry out of the way, and what you're going to do is do some deep breathing exercise, just nice breathing. And then your head is going, this part of your face is going to go in the water for 30 seconds. And you're thinking, oh, 30 seconds, that's nothing. Let me tell you, in freezing cold water, okay, I thought I'd be able to go a lot longer. You know, 30-second is the max I could do. And then you come up, have a towel right there, do it with a friend if you can, like I said, or a family member, 7 days in a row. Just do it once a day. You may find you can't get through the 30 seconds. A lot of people can't. Don't worry about it. If you come up, take another breath, however you want to do it, go back down. If you think just doing it once for 10 seconds is as far as you could get day one, not a problem. There's no judgment on it. This is about your brain is getting rewired. Believe me, it will. It is something else to have this experience. If you have, a phobia of water or holding your breath or going under, have your friend hold your hand, or maybe put some crystals in your hand. There are so many people who have done this that their high blood pressure completely went normal. Okay, because the setting it can be done is you test your heart rate prior and after. When we do a live session, we'll be able to do that. But to show you that it can help regulate the heart. It helps, again, with the vagus nerve to the brain. It helps with trauma, all history of trauma that has got lodged into the cells in the brain. This is so exciting. Again, it's free. You could do it when it will work best for you. And the results you'll keep getting from it is absolutely astounding. You're going to reset so much in your brain and connection to every nerve and receptor in your body and vagus nerve. Does this sound like a great challenge? Have somebody with you. Yes, Valerie.
Hi, Judy. Great to
Hi.
see you.
Good
For
to see
me,
you.
everyone. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a great challenge. In my case, I will be doing this alone. I did it already years ago, but I could not do it more than 10 seconds because it's really freezing like hell. It's good for your face. It's good for your wrinkle, that's for sure. But is it a good thing to start every day 10 seconds, and then try to build it 12, 15, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then to
very
see,
good.
Yeah,
Start wherever you
let's
start,
go.
okay? And I want to encourage people, get through the first panic button. You're going to you may run into a panic, like I'm going to drown, or I'm going to stop breathing or whatever. Try to breathe through that first panic. It's I don't know if any of you ever got colonics. I get colonics. Um, so to get the water through, sometimes there's a little blockage, but if you breathe through it, it'll get through that little passageway and then it will help release the toxins better. This is kind of just do what you can, Valerie. Do what you can with the breathing. Try to get through that little one more second, whatever that is. And I'm so excited that you've done this before. So I'm looking forward to following up with you on it. 7 days in a row, though. Let's really get beyond some of our blockages right now.
Okay,
Linda.
I have another
Oh,
question, if I
okay.
may. The the rainbow thing, can I make my own with my own colors?
No. Yes, you
Oh,
can. This
that
is so well tested and designed specifically for this.
okay,
And
because I
that's
do
why
know the
I
Dr.
want,
Martin. I know
okay.
him
He
online.
says, don't change the colors, don't change the
Okay,
order. It's been so refined. Yeah. Thank
thank
you
you
for
so much.
that. Very good question. Linda.
Thanks.
Thank you, Valerie.
Yeah, good questions, Valerie. So if you can only do like 10 or 15 seconds, you come up for air. And then take a breath, do you go back in for another 15 seconds to get it up to 30?
That would be great. That
Okay,
would be just keep pushing yourself. It's
okay.
just keep the intention of you're doing this for the reset. You're doing this for I did it with the consciousness of very deep ancestral trauma that has been in my women lineage. And I just set that intention. And I never, I'm excited I'm thankful to know I don't feel that now, but hold an intention if you can, of course. Yeah, good question.
Okay, and then at the end of your 7 days, do you ever do this again?
Yep, you can do it as much as you want. The 7 days is going to be the biggest reset you may go through. Okay, really good reset. That's what we want to go for, and then you do it just whenever you want. You might want to do it once a week, twice a week. It's Dr. Martin does it every day. Okay, so he'll either do the ice water plunge or he does the ice water. I'm blown away with what this guy does for himself every day. But I mean, it's stellar what he's doing.
Well, I'm very excited about this because I have had sinus headaches all my life. I have sinusitis, allergies. I think I've shared that with you, Judy. But I get 2 sinus headaches a day, every day now. And, I take over-the-counter medication to help mitigate that, and it does. But this, I am really excited to do. I mean, if it can clear up these sinus headaches, this would be the modality I would use.
Okay. And reach out to me. You know how to contact me if you have questions, and let me know how you're doing with it.
Yeah, I sure will. Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Let's see.
So I hope you all know when I teach these classes every other week, it's not going to be your typical, okay, as you can already tell. I'm going to integrate other ways at times that maybe you haven't experienced, you thought of, or I'm going to take your brain in a whole nother direction, you know. And I'm sharing with you experiences that I'm having, new stuff that I am learning and integrating into this. So I'm looking forward to our next class together. I will try to, my intention is to give you experiences literally that will keep shifting your consciousness for more of your alignment of the home within yourself, and then more positioning yourself to be part of any project or creative, intuitive thought of, giving back to humanity. What humanitarian projects, you might want to create next or collaborate with anybody. It's so this is really cool. I'm glad to see all of you here today. This is exciting.
Yeah, super exciting. Thank you so much, Judy. And I think we are down for next class is going to be more on parasites and solving that, right?
Definitely. So there's going to be some good facts information out, and it's, the more we know, then the more we get to be responsible for, but the freer we get to be ourselves,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's really cool. And some of you have seen me transition, for a few years, even the last 9 months, I'm in transition. And and that's the cool thing about doing this collectively, doing this together, we're no one's above anybody else here. No one's below anybody else here. I'm just sharing with you stuff that we all want to evolve with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Tanya.
much, Judy. You are a gift to us and the world, and we are so thrilled that you are here teaching this and bringing your people to listen as well. And yeah, thanks for being here, friends. We will see you back in a couple of weeks for another one and probably somewhere else in between. So
Thank
thanks
you.
again, Judy.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.